I'm just as much a part of like the creation process as much as like the product at the end. So yeah, it's a little more involved, I guess you could say, for me. What's up, guys? My name's TCspades, and you're watching my session with Off the Record. Okay, Donna Summer. Okay. I remember this one because of honestly, because of the album cover. This shit was crazy. Like, I saw what they put into it, just putting it together, and I was like, okay, they got a little vibe. What's the meaning behind your name, TCspades? That is a good question. I didn't really have a meaning behind it. It's more how it came together. So I'm a person who reads comic books. I like superheroes and whatnot. And I had this assignment in the 10th grade where I was like, we had to make a personal logo. So I had one before for this little YouTube channel, but it was very kiddish, not up to form. So I'm like, okay, let me think. Like, you got Spider-Man and spiders, right? Or like Batman and bats. I'm like, I need something that works. And so, I don't know, naturally I just kind of thought of like the card suits or suites, whatever you call them. So I'm like, TC clubs? No. I'm like, TC hearts? Too soft. But TC spades? I'm like, that's hard. And it's like, poker, money. I'm up. That's what it is. That's what I'm all about. All right, next record here. Whoa, James Brown. Listen, this is the guy. Michael Jackson, James Brown, those are two people that I'm like, those are performers. That's what I gotta like. That's my pinnacle type thing. So it's a big guy right here. All right. It's no secret that a lot of Canadian artists still look to the US for opportunities to advance their career. What do you think Canada needs to do in order to keep its artists here? That is a great question. Damn, it's like a weighted one. So in my opinion, what I feel like artists, or what Canada needs to do in terms of keeping their artists here is, I feel like they have the resources, but it's knowledge and awareness that's kind of lacking. Like, the people who do know are the ones who are kind of running it up and they're like out of here. But the people who are coming up, like, if you don't know, you're just kind of running the same track, right? So yeah, in my opinion, I feel like it's just like spreading that awareness and letting people know that like, hey, like, we're here to actually like collaborate and like talk and figure out these kind of things, and just putting that information out there. So if somebody like wants to find it and really like take their career to the next level, it's there for them to find. Because like, it's not that simple to Google nowadays. It's like, if you know somebody who can put you on, that's what it is. But yeah, that's what I feel like we need to do. Shaka Khan. Listen, that's a lady right there. That's all I gotta say, her name speaks for itself. All right, what era of music inspires you? So I feel like there's like, I'll say two in particular. One of which would be 90s, specifically because of 90s dancehall. That's what I grew up listening to. Lovers rock as well. Like, it's just like the musicality of it, and it's my heritage. I'm Jamaican, so, And then the other one that I'd say is the early 2000s, probably like between like 2000 to like 2007. That's when I was just watching TV, so I was always watching like BET. So I'm listening to people like, Outkast. I remember Busta Rhymes when he was coming up. Not coming up, but like when he was doing his flip mode stuff. Who else? Ludacris. Holy. Like, there's just bare people from there that I take a lot of my hip hop inspiration from. All right. Michael Jackson, off the wall. Just like I said with James Brown, this guy's a guy. This is the guy who, like, I don't know, inspires me like as a performer more so. But yeah. You describe yourself as having evolved through different mediums of art. How is music different for you compared to other artistic mediums? I like that one. So for me, music is different from the other mediums because it kind of marries a lot of the things that I learned along my life so far into one kind of place. I used to draw, and I also did music just for fun, but those were things that I could never initially, like I didn't see myself taking it seriously in like a business kind of sense. And that's really the difference, because like when it came to like videography and photography, which a lot of people knew me for in the past, that was very like, I was very cutthroat with it because I knew like how it had to be, right? So I'm like just like on the ball with it. But yeah, music allows me to kind of have that kind of fun, and like I'm just as much a part of like the creation process as much as like the product at the end. So yeah, it's a little more involved, I guess you could say, for me. All right. Kendrick Lamar, To Pimp a Butterfly. honestly one of the craziest MCs that like I came across. I was lucky enough to catch him like Section 80 Days and Good Kid, Mad City. Well, before that, but just another guy from LA that I look up to who's just crazy with it. All right, so your latest EP, 6 Degrees of Separation, dropped in 2021. How long were you working on it? What was it like working on it during the pandemic? Great question. So 6 Degrees of Separation dropped January 2021. Honestly, technically I was working on it from like almost the start of pandemic, technically. I say that because it was actually a different project at the start. I was working on this other one called Family Traditions, and it was a thing that was kind of near to me just because of like where I was at that point, and again also in pandemic, right? So I'm kind of focusing on like connections, I guess you could say, and relationships. But then near like winter, things kind of switched up. I was like, okay, the music's good, but I feel like I can really like hone in on like on the theme of this project a little better. So 6 Degrees of Separation was just a thing that was floating in my head. So I was like, you know what? I might as well take that because it adds kind of this duality to what I'm trying to like convey. And that's when I really leaned into it. So technically from summer, but really like I was like working from about end of summer, almost fall. And yeah, working through pandemic wasn't that bad of a thing for me just because I was already someone who would work in my own studio, like in my house as it was. So yeah, nothing really changed in that sense. But the one thing that was a little different was working remotely now to get it mixed and mastered. Shout out my guy Creo, he like handled that perfectly. But yeah, that's what that was like.